Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your Akashic Records expert and energy shift advisor. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, please? Trying a new technique going through the Zoom platform. So if you can give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, please. Okay, let's see here. I've got the new platform for me tonight, so a little nervous and getting it shifted and adjusted. If this doesn't work, we're going to go back to the old way. But if you can hear me, I'm going over to my live on my Facebook feed. If you can hear me, if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be great. So I can get that adjusted here. Okay, great. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna delete this video. I'll come back with a different one and we will see what we can do, because the desired outcome is to share with you what's happening on Schumann's and help you to understand what is taking place in our universe right now, and why this is a time to take action and why it's so important. So I'm going to, in the Zoom platform, go over to share screen, where hopefully it will allow me to share this live on Facebook. And I'm going to wait a couple minutes here to see if it'll come on. See if it changes over on the Facebook so that you can see the Schumanns and me at the same time. So I'm going to wait for that. I know there's a few second lag between Facebook and when I'm talking. So just a moment, if you can be patient. All right, it looks like we have a bingo. If you now can see the Schumanns and me, can you give me a thumbs up, please? I really appreciate your love and patience, everybody. This is just an amazing work, and I'm doing the best I can to go forward. Take action, what I'm about to tell you. Yes, yes, we are cooking with gas. All right, everybody, thank you so very much. Okay, so what I was saying on the earlier video, my Instagram people are going to have to go over to my website, toolsofenergyprotection.com, or my YouTube channel, which is my name up here on Facebook. It's spelled Deanna Gloyd. So let's go back to March of 2020, when we were entering COVID season. That's when, if you go back in on my blog on toolsofenergyprotection.com, and then there's a place to do search in there, and search for March 22nd, 2020, or thereabouts, when the Tuesdays were following, I was holding up these sheets of paper to show you what the frequency changes were. And what you would see is something like what you're seeing on your screen now, except, let's see if this will, except what you were seeing is a white, I didn't put any of these in slides, a white shower. It would just be a solid white all the way down. And it would usually go down here in the 40s. They're measuring over here, and it would hit the 40 mark, which is highly unusual and what we don't normally see. So in this case today, I'd like for you to notice that we do not have a straight waterfall. Look what we have here. Look at this. It looks almost like the back of some sort of a reptile or an animal. This is not straight. The old ones looked more like this, but they would go all the way down the schmeggin screen. Look at this. That's why I'm on Monday, March 22nd, 2021, going red alert, whoop, 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 because the energies are way up there. And, you know, in the old days, and sometimes now, when there's leading news, they interrupt this program, you know, and then they put this little ticker tape at the bottom. I don't have enough technology to do that yet. Don't have enough crew members. But this is a red alert time, but it's positive. I want you to share this video. Please share this video. If any of this resonates, with you. Share it in your Facebook feed, share it on YouTube, cut and paste the link on YouTube, share it with a friend, because this is real time, leading edge, important information. Again, March 22nd, 2021. So this last frequency shift we had, I believe it was like a new moon that came out. And that's when we started seeing this kind of energy on the far left of your screen. That's what we've been seeing for a while. Excuse me, since it's coming into Aries season. And then these energies were very active, supporting, supporting us to change, right? And on the inner circle, we're going to talk about these changes. So if you're really interested in more in-depth help and support with this, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on Energy Shift Inner Circle. We're going to go into what does this all mean? I'm going to give you a brief because the collective consciousness needs to know this. But this little brief right here of what's happening is that your mind and your heart is being supported towards change. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever studied the human brain, once it gets in a routine, has its pattern set, it doesn't like change. It freaks out when there's change. If you don't believe me, attempt to change a habit that you've had for years, just like that. Because let's face it, if you say to yourself, okay, well, I don't get much exercise, but I want to change that. I'm going, good, go do it. A week later, I'll ask you, how's that going? And you'll be like, well, okay. And the reason for that is the human brain gets in a pattern and it likes to stay there. That's why it takes drive and courage and action to change habits and create new ones. So what is this energy all about? Excuse me. This energy that you're seeing on your screen, since I've been watching Schumann's over the last couple of years, I have never seen this. You see this? Okay, it doesn't look like a waterfall going outside. It's like, wow, all over the place. So the symptoms, if you will, of this energy shift that my clients have been reaching out to me, texting me, talking to me today are they are desiring to go somewhere different in their lives. They're desired to make a shift. And like I said, to be successful, to be a person who's making great strides in their life. We see the movies of, this person overcomes that, or this person overcomes that. The movie happens about what, an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2. And our brains are conditioned that things are going to happen that fast. No, ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to happen that fast. It's going to take a while. But this energy right here is the bioelectromagnetic frequency that is stirring up change. It is stirring up magnitudes of change. If your desired outcome is to change anything, yourself, your life, your belief system, your self-love or lack thereof, now is the time. Get up off your butt and make a change. I can't be any more plain than that. I posted that on the energy shit or on the inner circle on Facebook the other day. Sensitive Fight Club. I said, now's the time to take change. And somebody says, what do you mean? Good question. So what do I mean? What I mean is that if you've been sitting on your butt and you haven't made any changes in any part of your life, now's the time. Last March, the entire planet, now this is interesting because it came right before the age of Aquarius. The entire planet was put on lockdown, mentally, emotionally, physically, and we all had to stay in place. And I don't know about you, but I'm a high energy person. I don't like staying still, right? And I like talking with my hands in case you haven't noticed. If anybody talks with their hands, you tell them to sit on their hands, they won't be able to speak because they got to move around. I didn't like being in one spot, felt like a caged animal. So did the most of the globe. And we had to deal with it. People suffered great amounts of depression. Now some people are telling me they're just now realizing they're suffering post-traumatic stress disorder. Everything we went through is stressful. And you think about last year, I mean, come on. People lost their jobs. People that were trying to thrive and make their businesses work tanked. Some of them just barely skidded along and made it. Some people that had never lived together 24/7, spouses, children, everybody under the same roof, and they had their routines. Well, their routines were messed up. And what is that? That's a mind screw. If you have your routine messed up, you're going to wig out. I don't care how much of a change person you are. I don't care how much of a, oh, let's go with it, roll with the flow, live in the moment. Yeah, buddy. Living in the moment to moment for several weeks in a row is challenging. Now, if some of you can do that, live in the moment 24/7, congratulations, give me a call, tell me how you did it. But I can only go so long with my routine interrupted, and I don't like it. What happened was that this entire world, not just one country, but the entire planet put the brakes on. Now what? We've got this dis-ease that doesn't play nice, doesn't play fair, and it's rampantly spreading all over the world. But if we all stay home and hold our breath, somehow magically it'll stomp it out. Okay, now there might be some bioscientists. I have several in my client base. I love you all, but you know I'm pushing the edge there. So again, people had to cohabitate that hadn't before for long periods of time. Lots of fighting, lots of discussions, lots of arguments. Unfortunately, yes, there was domestic violence and even some deaths. And then the grip was released a little bit and people could work from home. Something that I had thought about years ago and told my company, hey, you know, let me work from home. They're like, oh, no, we can't do that because then we can't clock you in and out, heaven forbid. We won't know if you're working. Really? Look at my productivity, people, come on. Anyway, so you got a lot of people working from home. A lot of people had to buy computers that never had computers before at home, or better computers to keep their jobs, and lots of turmoil, lots of unrest in the collective consciousness. And that's the time when people that were highly sensitive, empaths, aware and awake, star seeds, were starting to go, oh shit, we better do something now. And so they began. I started an academy. I taught a few people, but it's not enough. This world and every person that is enlightened, aware, and awake has to come on board now. If you like me, great, I'll teach you. If you don't like me, go search the internet. There's plenty of people out there teaching. But I'm going to tell you something. Please do not take from anybody a class that cans it and you get to ask no questions. That's not helpful. That's about their bottom line, not yours. Now, there are some excellent teachers out there who will can certain parts, and can, I mean, put it on video. I'm getting ready to do that myself. So if I'm going to teach about soul families and how they work, that's teaching, okay? That's like Udemy. So I can can it or put it in a video and put it up for sale on my website. Yes, coming soon. Somebody can go, I like that, buy it, click it, and listen to it. But if they can't ask questions, where does that leave them? So the desired outcome is to get the academy going again, get as many people in there as I can, and I will teach them. But what I'd like to do is to give them the spots like a soul family, or, you know, what are my spiritual gifts, you know, in the worksheets, so that when they come to class ready, you know, we can spend more time working with the Akashic records, because that's what this time is all about, is clearing up your Akashic records, or for those of you that like it better, clearing your karma from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, so that you can take action now. And some of you may be ready. Great. So what does it look like to take action? By the way, if you have any questions, put them down here in the Facebook feed. If you have questions later, toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on contact, get the email address, email me. But what's happening now is you will find, at least in my client base and my friends that I talk to, Yes, my guides are saying my test subjects. You know how when people they go out in the collective, maybe they test something and everybody responds, and you have your controlled all that substance anyway. So the people that are communicating with me are telling me that they are being tested to change. What does that mean? Tested to change. Self-esteem and self-love are huge issues. They were huge issues before COVID was even thought of in a petri dish. Self-love is a huge deal. Has been for a long time. Most people stuffed it over the years. You look back in history at the different movements. People were trying to find self-love, or perhaps racial love. Some of it. Lots going on there, political, not touching it. But what I am touching is self-love, self-worth, self-value. How many of you grew up in a sociopathic household? How many of you grew up in a narcissistic household? That means self-love was non-existent. You were taught to hate yourself in great abundance in many ways and styles. Okay? So these energies that you're seeing and have been seeing during the COVID season with the long white running down, not what we're seeing here. Just a straight waterfall stream. Look over here underneath where it says 321, and you see these streams running down, not all quite white. That's what we were seeing. And look at this today. This hit roughly around midnight last night. So if you had trouble sleeping, that's it. And it really came on strong somewhere around 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock this afternoon, so you may have felt off. And what this energy right here is, ladies and gentlemen, black, white, red, yellow, and green, and blue on this chart, is wake the schmeg up. What does that mean? What does wake up mean? It means if over the last 2 weeks you had chronic headaches and you didn't know why, and again, I'm going to speak to you in wisdom because my title is metaphysician. That's what I am, a metaphysician. I deal with things people cannot see, but are very real. That's what I do, and that's what I'm talking about is metaphysics. And I'm going to do the best I can to put it out there so that every person listening to me can understand in the simplest terms possible, because this is so important. This energy, which has been here and changing us slowly over the last year, that's the COVID era, or the COVID year, if you will, not era of year. And then we have the two big planets come into place, the benefic and the malefic. That's the good and the bad, or the evil, doer and the good doer. And they are locked in place for Age of Aquarius. And I told you that as different planets come around, it's going to put these in juxtapositions for different things. This is not going to be an easy emotional time, but you can make it easier. That's why I'm on here. My desired outcome is that you are going to have an easier time riding these energy waves and utilizing them for your best outcome. That's why they're here, to move mankind, the collective consciousness forward in a positive manner. And you can either drag your tail, and if you drag your tail on concrete, you're going to get 3rd and 4th degree burns. You want to be burned? Great. Shut this off. This is not for you. Go have fun in your misery and your depression and your self-loathing, because that's where you're headed. But if your desired outcome is to say, I love me, then listen up and listen close. Right now, these energies are supporting you in taking action. That means getting out of your head and taking action. Stop thinking about it and do something about it. And if you don't know how, private message me. I was not planning on coming on tonight. Usually when I give you these messages, I will give you a class to buy or a seminar to buy or a webinar to buy or something. So you're not going, okay, great. Now what do I do? Okay, not my intent. But this came up on me this afternoon late. I had one of my, like I said, a beautiful contemporary, used to be one of my students who helped me to be able to do this on Facebook. And, as a first step, taking action, woohoo! And I'm going to see if I can actually do a different share here just a moment. Hopefully I can do this because this is more important stuff for you to see. So hopefully it'll let me change. Yes! Hallelujah! Pass the plate. Woohoo! I'm loving this. I know you all think I'm a little bit of a weirdo, but hey, that's my job. All right. So hopefully this will catch up here in just a second and it will share the new picture. That's what I'm hoping for. There it is. Here we go. Yeah, now we got a bingo. Woohoo! All right. So now what I'm sharing for you is the Q factors. Okay, again, this is the kind of stuff that we go into on the inner circle. But this is so important. You must make a decision. I've been butt kicking you all for years and hugging you for years. And this is the time for you to take action. There's no more time for playing around and no more time for wiping butts, okay? And if you're not with me, you're not with me. Sorry, I just lost. Oh, let's see here. I just lost my Facebook portion of this. I hope I'm still streaming because it's telling me, oh, good gravy. It's telling me it's waiting on the video. And I think we're still live here on Facebook. Oh, good gravy. Nothing like on the job training. All right, so hopefully we're still live. If you can still see me and hear me, send me some thumbs up. Let me know we're still on board. It tells me it's still waiting. Okay, look, okay, so we are. It's just not showing me, it's just not showing me stuff. All right, here we go. So the Q factors, this is what we're looking at for Q factors. So a Q factor is just a little bit different of the Schumanns. And what you're seeing, if you look at the right-hand side of the screen, you will see where the white line, the yellow line, the red line, and the green line are all going wonky in different directions. This is not normal. What is normal is more in here where you've got more of the white line going straight. The yellow and the green line make kind of a hump, and usually the green line would too. So this in here is what we would qualify as almost normal. And the Q factors, it's different frequencies. It's different ionospheres. And so that is what is happening. It's gone wonky. The different frequencies have gone wonky. So you got all kinds of different things, different amplitudes going in different directions, not harmonious at all. At least when you have the white, waterfall looking things, they're semi-harmonious. This is, again, not normal. All right, one more. And let's see when this one catches up. Share this one. And this one is called a critical frequency. So this will be what we kind of just looked at, but all together on one line. And that, okay, that's changing over now. Okay, that's good. Thank you for those of you that are still hanging on in here. If you're just catching on or just coming on to my live, what I'm talking about is that this is time for highly sensitive and empathic people. It is time for you to take action, get out of your head, get into your heart and do something. A lot of you may be feeling jittery right now, more depressed than you've ever been. I'm hearing that too. I'm hearing people say, you know, I've had people in my life for a long time that have kind of dragged me down, but now I feel like I got to get them out of my life. I just got to cut them off. Those are some of the symptoms I'm hearing about. Those are some of the symptoms I'm seeing. So if any of you out there are feeling other things, private message me, put it in the Facebook feed, let me know. But the bottom line that my spirit guides are telling me and my other guides are telling me is this is a time of changing the collective consciousness like never before. We got a wake up call right before COVID hit, said, here it comes. Then what I'm now calling the post-COVID era, yes, right here, I'm calling it post-COVID era. That's what it is. We're done with that. There'll be some residue and some things riding out, but we're starting to re-enter society again. We're starting to open up again. It won't look the same. If you're like me and you've ever lived through a tornado, when you went down in a tornado shelter, when you came back up, it did not look the same. That's what we're talking about here, folks. Your world will not look the same. So you're going to have to find new footing. Some of you out there have lost your jobs. You got the check from the government to feed back into the economy because, you know, they're trying to keep the economy straight. That's good. But my question is, now what? Where are the jobs? Where can you focus yourself? What can you do? Because there's plenty of money in the universe. You got to align yourself with it, though, and that's the action taking. And the self-love is the action taking. So if you aren't doing things to love yourself, if you're holding yourself back, if you're saying, I'm not good enough, if you have low self-esteem, that's the challenge. Reporting. And if you see here on our critical frequencies page, right, all the energies are going kind of up in the same direction. This is, again, a different measurement of the bioelectromagnetism. So that is good. At least they're all going in the same direction on this one. Little wiggy, but they're all going in the same direction. All right, I'll get back over here to my original photo, click share. And hopefully that's going to catch up over here on Facebook. Oops, hang on a minute. Okay, there we go. So now we're cooking with gas. So that's what this Schumann frequency is. Again, if you're really desiring to go more in depth and to know, you know, why do I feel worse than I ever have in my life? Why is the depression so bad? Why am I wanting to cut these people out of my life like yesterday, whereas before I could kind of sort of tolerate them and put up with them? Why am I not feeling myself, loving myself? Why am I making continual bad choices for myself? Why am I getting headaches over the last 2 weeks when there's no other 3D world cause? That's what I'm talking about. It's a time of great awakening. The frequencies are changing. The high-pitched whine, the pressure in the ears are all sending out messages to those of us that are awake and aware. And some of us are just waking up. God love you. You're going to be waking up like that. It's going to be like a woman having a baby that just pops out before the doctor gets there. And I love each and every one of you. That's why I'm coming on so late on a Monday night, because the message was there. It was strong. It was huge. I thought I'll just wait till tomorrow. And my guides are like, no, you got to talk about this now. Take action. So a beautiful lady who is my former student, now contemporary, stepped up and said, here's how you do this. And, you know, when you get that kind of support from your community, you know that everything's pointing in the right direction. One of the things that I shared with 2 other people today is I've been noticing that my numbers, my personal numbers, I'm not a big numerologist. I know they're real. I know they affect frequencies when spoken, but I hadn't really ingested or digested that all. And I noticed that numbers kept showing up for me a lot. So pay attention to the numbers that are coming up over and over and over and over for you. Write them down. Whatever order they come in, then go look them up and find out what they mean and see if it applies to your life. Because we're all being up-leveled if we're willing to. If you're not willing to up-level, you're going to be left behind. There was some crazy movie that came out probably 20 years ago. I think it was called Left Behind. It was about the rapture or Armageddon or something. And I'm sorry if this is blasphemy for some of you, but I'm telling you, the rapture, the Armageddon is here in the heart and here in the mind. And you're going to see that as this year continues on. There's going to be a separation between people. There's going to be a separation in belief systems. And that chasm is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that bridge is not going to be very good in between those two. Very clear distinctions. And so the only way I know to help you progress through the world shifting like this is to be connected to God, Spirit, or Source, your mind and your heart fully on, fully open, going forward, knowing what's happening. Because when the poop storm hits, people, I want you to be able to walk forward knowing that you will be cared for, provided for. You know, if you want to go to biblical terms like Moses, you know, he tapped a rock and the sea parted. And everybody went through and the sea closed. You want to be like that? You want to know where you're headed? You've got to open your heart and your mind to be your connection, God, Spirit, or Source. And turn that heart light on and help bring that light into this world. Help bring it in. Because it is a poop show, ladies and gentlemen. And the more of us that rise up, the more of us that are connected to that consciousness and don't allow people to shut us off through fear. Fear. That is the weapon. You want to know what the weapon is? It's fear. I'm going to give you a visual. Here's what your energy stream looks like. This is your connection to the collective consciousness, to God, to Spirit, to Source, to where you came from before here. This is the 3D world where you live. As long as you are open as you can be, you will always know what you need to know when you need to know it, or feel it, or see it, whatever your gift is. Fear does this. Okay, that's what fear does. And when you're like this and you can't see or hear or feel or sense or know, you start looking other places for answers, and guess what? The dark side will give them to you. You try. Here, let me give you this straw. Take it and try not to unbend it, and try sucking out of it. Right? It's not happening. So your job is to begin to unbend your straw and stay connected in and walk forward with the light. The Bible says, he who has an ear, let him hear. He who has eyes, let him see. All right, I'm going to look and see if I have any questions. Please share this video to highly sensitive people. Let them know that they don't have to hold up their shields and fight and be exhausted so much anymore. These energies can shift that so that just through the heart and mind, the shields will be there. And you'll have to do so much less work if you just let yourself be attuned to that. I can help you with that. I don't see, I see one question. Is this why I have a constant vertigo? Probably. I can't really speak to constant vertigo, but I can tell you that when I was becoming more attuned in a very quick manner for the job that I had volunteered for here, apparently, about 6 years ago, I'm trying to think where I was. Yeah, about 6 years ago, I had vertigo so severe that it's one of the few times that I actually went to a hospital. I was hospitalized 3 times with vertigo over the course of about 4 months. And when they readjusted the crystals in my ear, or ears plural, they told me that that it was in both ears, not just one. And the ER doctor that I met twice looked me in the eyes, leaned very close and said, have you fallen or has somebody hit you? And I said, no and no. And he asked a bunch of other questions and every one of them was no. So he said, you know, I promise I won't put it on my report if you'll just tell me who hit you, because that's how severe the crystals got misaligned in my head. None of the things they suggested had happened to me. But my vertigo, not only was it this way, but it was spinning as well. And I had no idea why, but I got adjusted, kind of Epstein maneuver, something like that. They had to do that twice. And after that, I was good for the go. But I learned later from my guides that that was a huge shift for me. So the question is that why I have constant vertigo? It could be. You're gonna have, it'd be a good idea for you to check the physical things, check with an ear, nose, or throat doctor, the maneuver, all that kind of thing. Many things it could be. I can't speak to that totally, but from my experience, that's what happened. I'm not seeing any other questions. And again, I thank you all for joining me for this red alert. But the ticker tape at the bottom should say, take action now, do not delay. Take action now, do not delay. And the reason for that is because of this big, huge energy we're seeing right here. It is not a steady waterfall. It does not go horizontally, it's vertical. And it is working on mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and energy bodies. Drink plenty of water. Pay attention to your rest needs. And if you'd really like to go deeper behind that, you know, what tools can you use? You know, how can you address your physical needs, your mental needs, your emotional needs, your spiritual needs? All of that we're covering tomorrow on the Energy Shift Inner Circle. And not tomorrow, Wednesday. Sorry, I think this is Tuesday already, on Wednesday. It's 7:30 Mountain Time. And you can click on toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on Energy Shift Inner Circle, scroll down, it'll tell you how much it costs. It's very reasonable. I've kept it extremely low so that people can afford to be there. It's a month-to-month thing. We talk about affirmations, we talk about energy tools, we talk about emotions, and then I asked the group members to kind of help each other, community. We have a Facebook page. So if you need some support during this time and you're tired of feeling alone, come on board. We'd love to have you. You could also come on privately onto the Zoom platform. You don't have to turn your camera on. But anyway, that's the red alert. Like I said, in all my years of watching Schumann's, I have never seen this before. So this is shaking up self-love, love of self, self-punishment, doing the same crap over and over again, expecting different results, feeling frozen, not able to go forward, dynamic headaches, mistrust in the family unit, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we have. Again, please share or like this video. Send it to other people that are having the same issues. I will be back here on Tuesday Night Live to answer some more fun questions, like what is a star seed? How do you know? How do you know what your spiritual gifts are? Things like that. We had a contest a few weeks ago on YouTube, and there's questions posted down there. If you have a question that you'd like to know about Akashic Records, talking to deceased loved ones, what's it like on the other side? What's a near-death experience? All that stuff, then just let me know. You can send me an email, go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on contact. There's a place to send an email. You can put it in the comments down here below on Facebook and YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:30 Mountain Time for the Tuesday Night Live. And we'll be picking out a few more questions to answer and enlighten you and move you forward. And then Wednesday, we'll have the Energy Shift Inner Circle. If you join it, you'll receive an email on where to meet. Okay, so the Energy Shift Inner Circle, you get an email that gives you a link to a Zoom platform. If you don't receive it, check your spam or promotion on Gmail. They have something called promotions. Check that. All right, and when I start that circle at 7:30 Mountain Time, I won't be checking my text or anything else. So make sure you jump on in plenty of time. But anyway, I love you all bunches. I appreciate you coming on again. Share this video. It is so important. It is a red alert. I wish I could get it on, CNN or MSNBC or something. Now that I've said that, they'll probably censor this and, destroy it. But anyway, it's just very important that it gets out. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful night. Big hugs and kisses.